Darn it! I know I need to become a YouTube partner. For some reason I just don't care. I need to do a lot of things. I need to change my site, I need to change everything, and I need to change all of my whatevers. Let's get back onto it. The second half of client stories, because I got cut off. Sorry guys, I just get into it and don't pay attention to the time. 15 minutes passed, and it's like, who can talk for 15 minutes, right? It's weird and all. Like when I first did videos, I thought, oh, I can talk for 3 minutes, but anyway. Client stories. So I got cut off, like I noticed the time about 2 minutes into me over babbling. And I was just talking about client stories, like one guy who had high blood pressure, another girl who did everything correct. She hit her ketogenic numbers. She had the energy, but she hadn't tested the weight loss. So this is what I really want you guys to know with the client stories. Now, you can have perfect ketogenic numbers. Now what I was saying before is that it takes time to get into ketosis because the brain has to learn how to use ketones, and that doesn't happen in a week or 2 weeks. It takes time. Your body goes from using one fuel source, the glucose, your whole entire life, to switching over to using ketones, and it gets better and better and better and better each day. That's what you have to be patient for. So for those who are not patient, it won't work because you have to put your body in mostly a parasympathetic state, meaning chill zone. Good, smile. You know, just put yourself into more like stopping like this. Stress, 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 stress. And some of you guys are so stressed out, you don't even recognize stress because it's a part of your vernacular. No. So, this young woman, 29 years old, got herself into ketosis. 2 months it took her. Is that the average? No. Is there an average? No. I just noticed that guys who are fit, who go to bed early, who are like, you know, the intellectuals that, you know, don't party and stay up late, who love like sports and learning and, you know, put themselves in a chill zone, like the meditators. Yes. The Cali meditators, yes, they tend to pop right on in, not a problem. But most people don't live that type of life. They use coffee, stimulants, processed foods, and this puts wear and tear on the body. So when you try to drive ketosis, the body has to go and repair those things before it'll adapt. Now someone said to me, this is not a client, but this is an email. So let's say client stories and emails. But someone said to me, so do you have to repair the body first before trying keto? And I was like, no. Yes, no. No more like keto actually helps repair your systems because, of course, you have to take out all the processed foods and higher quality, pastured, organic foods, non-pesticide produce is going to help to your detoxification pathways that you're having problems with. So just the nutrition alone should help detoxify. The fact that your gut is not inundated with all that glucose is also going to help your detoxification because your body is not under that stress of glucose. So too much glucose, which is very inflammatory to the body. Over 1 teaspoon. Just one per meal, 1. So, but people who've got thyroid issues, people who are obese, who are used to eating a lot of carbohydrates, your body's kind of like addicted to it like it's crack, and you kind of go through a withdrawal symptom like people who are alcoholics or meth addicts. They literally get really, really sick when you take away overnight their drug of choice. And sometimes that happens with people with metabolic derangements who go from a high starch, carbohydrate, sugar, processed, toxic mess to keto. And so I suggest for those to graduate down in 5 weeks by going from like 300 carbs to 120 carbs to 100 carbs to 90. I mean, there's no perfect number, but you're each week graduating yourself down to the last step, which is between 15 and 20 grams, which is what I suggest. Those seem to be really great numbers. So, okay, what else? Well, it is, so yes, you can, so that is a sort of a keto diet done slowly. And that's a way to actually heal your system if you're incredibly damaged. Now, diabetics tend to do very well right away because they go from glucose numbers of 200 plus, and they can take themselves down to 120 and 115 and just a little bit over 100 quite quickly by taking out their carbohydrates, their processed foods. So for those, I'm like, if you don't have a thyroid issue, and if you do have a thyroid issue, you're just starting to have the symptoms that your hair is starting to thin, clumps of it are coming out when you're brushing it. That can happen when you go on keto if you have an underlying issue that was already there. So when people try to say that keto does that to your body, no, sorry, The carbohydrate life that you were living with crappy sleep and too many toxins and not enough detoxification and potentially the MTHFR mutation got you there. Not keto. Keto is amazing. Keto is the way our bodies were designed to utilize ketones through the Krebs cycle into your body and into your brain to put your body in a more calm state of repair. You're not in a state of repair. You're exposed to too many toxins. So with that said, y'all, those are some of the client stories. This girl's doing really well. She decided to do a follow-up with me to just ensure that she's on the right track. We spoke about Stephanie's version of intermittent fasting. Listen to me and listen to me well. I have not seen as of yet one successful case of intermittent fasting where somebody has the business like this. I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. And you know why? Because most people who try it are trying to do what? Drop body fat. Because their body fat's too high, because they have metabolic problems. So if you're using intermittent fasting just to lose weight, it's not going to work. It can get you to drop weight, but are you checking your body fat percentage? You're talking about checking your lean muscle mass percentage? Because often people are losing muscle through gluconeogenesis because to keto adapt, you have to be very disciplined and there's no shortcut. So people who intermittent fast often are looking for a freaking shortcut. So what I said to her was, once you become keto adapted, absolutely you are able to, boom, intermittent fast. But the Stephanie version is break the sleeping fast by eating breakfast, fatty proteins, yes. Spike that metabolism, yes. That's what we want. That's what we want. None of this get up and freaking put butter in a freaking coffee and think you're dropping fat, because you're dropping muscle, because your adrenals are taxed and they can't handle even a drop of caffeine. Not even from cacao. Not at all. And not even from your caffeinated green tea. Yeah? You don't know? You don't believe me? Look in the mirror! Damn! Guys, testosterone low? Women, you have no sex drive at all. None. You know how many women don't have sex drive? Their testosterone's too low. They're estrogen dominant. Your adrenals are screwed up. And what does coffee do? What does caffeine do? It gives you a false sense of energy that you don't have. And it forces your body to produce energy it doesn't have by making adrenaline, norepinephrine, then cortisol, breaking down your body. So for those who read that caffeine is good to spike your metabolism, yeah, if you're a young, athletic male with no metabolic damage, perhaps fasted. But the rest of you, hell no, don't listen to that garbage. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. That's the problem. Yes! That's the problem. A lot of you guys are looking for these quick fixes, and so I actually discourage people. I tell them exactly what they don't want to hear. It's going to take a while. It's going to take 3 months. You have to work out. You have to get off your arse, your ass. You have to go to bed. You have to get rid of all of these food, porn, entertainment things. I'm bored with my food choices. Well, look in the mirror. Because your body is a reflection of your mind. So if your mind is telling you that you're bored, it's probably connected to your body. You have to do whatever it takes. You cannot constantly think that you can be the same person that you were last year, because you're not. We're always moving in some kind of direction. We just don't want to move laterally. We want to just go right to the top. That's what we want. So that's it with these freaking, I need to do more videos about the psychology, which I will do another one, of people being obsessed with freaking fat loss. This stuff drives me cuckoo. Caray. Because no one's talking about how they feel. The depression that people are going through these days, it is out of control. The ADD, the lack of focus, right? The illnesses people are having. Nobody talks about that stuff. Ever. You go on these freaking websites and they've got these colorful, beautiful presented diet, exercise concepts and books. But nobody is talking about the freaking how rotten everybody feels. How sleep deprived everyone is. How they have a hard time to feel energy. I'm watching the time this time. Because it started off as client stories and it's evolving to something else. But there's always little kernels of information if you listen. And maybe that's the point. Maybe doing videos for 15 minutes long is really to see if somebody's freaking listening. Because everybody wants everything real fast, right here, right now. How long does it take to get into ketosis? When does the weight start coming off? And I'm like, really? How about, I can't wait to enjoy life more. I can't wait to anti-age, to age backwards. Really to feel young and to feel spry. That's how I feel. I got the freaking business. And I worked hard for it. Because everything I do, I work my ass off for. Everything. I am no slacker to nothing. If I want a body like this, I will go out and I will get it. But you have to listen. And stop being in a hurry. So I have a lot more client stories to go. I had spoken about before a woman whose glucose numbers were perfect and her ketone numbers were perfect, but she still felt tired. And I was like, what the H-E double freaking L? Perfect ketogenic numbers on her glucometer. And I was like, go pee on a urine strip. Go get it right now. Piss on that mother sucker. Because I want to see if ketones are being lost in your urine, and I'll be damned. They were. She wasn't getting them into the cells. And if you can't get ketones into the cell, what? I feel tired. I feel so tired. And I was like, I think there's only two things that are preventing her body from hearing the barky dogs. I love dogs, but I don't love that barky shit. There's stuff, shite, whatever. I don't like it. It gets on my nerves. It's on my nerves. I need to go into that parasympathetic state of, what is it? Meditation to block it out. And no sirens. Go figure. Okay, so, yes, this woman, very interesting client story, because I told her to piss on the urine strip. It came out purple, or urinate. And she wasn't using her ketones, and I said, you're either having a histamine response in the body, an allergen, some type of inflammation, or you're a stress monger. And you got to figure out your personality or figure out if you have inflammation. I think it actually was a combination between the two. So, we did experiments. We found out she eats olives, boom, tired. Yes. Butter, boom, tired. Some people don't, they're so used to walking around this planet with so much lethargy and tiredness and they crank their body through it, they don't even know how tired they are.